So this is my video 80. Again, my goal is to record and upload at least 100 videos. And again, I'll start this video with the commenting on my programming scripts about on some tasks that I solved with Swift programming language. So let's go. This is my only task of level 8. It is called mile per gallon. Function takes one parameter of type int and returns double. Okay, I have some formula. I just read it aloud to practice the pronunciation of the formulas. Let some variable kph, kilometers per hour, kph. So no, let defines. So let kph. We defines the constant, and this constant is calculated according to the following formula: some number 1.609344 over or multiplied by another number 4.54609188, and this ratio is multiplied by our parameter converted into double, and we return another calculation. So this constant of kilometer per hour is multiplied by 100. Then we do this round operation. I'm not sure, I think it rounds to the closest integer number, which is less than this variable, and we divide this rounded number by 100. And I have it was my own solution, but for the return operation there is the best practice which I commented just to know that it exists. What we do here, what is percent? Okay, we use a string with format. What is it? Not variable. Okay, string constructor with let's say explicit format parameter, name of parameter, and we have percent. Okay, maybe percent. No, percent. Okay, we have percent sign dot to f, and this is the formation string which is used to display our variable kph in some particular way. I'm not sure about percent sign. Maybe it just means to use this kph variable, but dot to f means that it will be the float number, and it will have to digits after the dot in its like decimal part, maybe integer part and decimal part. So it will be integer dot and two decimal digits. So we created this string from kph variable, which formats the way we need, and then we convert the string into the double, and we use the force unwrapping because we know that string has the correct format. So double will return the necessary floating number. So in the end we just return this stuff. Well, I think it's really more programming style code, but yeah. Yeah, maybe my code is not so bad after all. Anyway, let's go back to level 7 scripts, and up to this moment I was going through all the scripts in alphabetical order. First I went through level 6 scripts, and then I walked through level 7 scripts, and yeah, the names were all in the alphabetical order, but last time I reached level 7 scripts on linked list. I have 4 scripts that resolve some tasks on this linked list, and they just have lots of code because these scripts implement the linked lists, and I don't want to recall this particular data structure right now, so I decided to move to these scripts from the other end of my scripts. Yeah, so now I'm going through level 7 in reverse of alphabetical order, starting with V and then T, S, and so on. So the next task is level 7 valid parentheses. Okay, I have 2 options again, my solution and maybe my previous solution, but I commented it, so I will go to the solution later. Function valid parentheses accepts string and returns Boolean variable. And what we have here, some variable sum is initialized to 0. Then for character in string, we have the following stuff. I'm not sure, maybe for character in string, C is considered to be a character. Or maybe okay, I said a character, I thought like a string of one element, but maybe it's really a character because I have this comparison. If character equals to open parentheses, then we add 1 to the sum, otherwise we add -1 to the sum. So if C is open parentheses, we increase sum by 1. If it's not, we decrease sum by 1. And if sum in the end, no, not in the end, if we have Okay, I think I think that this task was about the string that has open and closed parentheses, and the task was to check that each open parenthesis has the corresponding close parentheses, and it's in the right order. So close parentheses can't follow before, can't go before the open parentheses. That's why within this cycle of going through each character in the string, I have this condition: if sum less than 0, I return false. It's only possible when open parentheses are followed by more than, by closed parentheses, and their number is more than the initial number of open parentheses. That's why -1 operation gives me the negative sum, and then I return false, that this string is not valid. So in the end, if sum equals to 0, which means that each open parenthesis has its corresponding closed parenthesis, it means that we finally we check that the string is valid. And now I'm going to observe my first solution. My first solution was my first solution had two nested if or else statements. It's not very user-friendly reading, but let's go for it. First, I checked in guard statement that if string is empty, we return true from the beginning. Then I had this parameter, this array of strings, and going through each character in the string, if the character was the open paren, then I appended this open paren into the A, which is the stack. No, array of strings, but I operate with it as if it is a stack. Again, if the character is the closed paren, and if A at that moment, if the array is empty, the stack of parentheses is empty, we return false, because there is nothing in front of the closed paren. Otherwise, we will remove the previous. We will remove the previous, the last parenthesis on stack, and it should be the open paren in order to have this correlation between the open paren and the closed paren. And we continue this stuff until we go through all the strings, or all the characters in the string, and then in the end we return boolean, which means whether the stack is empty. Well, it's really correct in the terms of the logic. It's really shows the way to match an open paren with the closed paren, but the first solution that used +1 -1 changes of the sum is really concise, and it's really beautiful. It's easier to check by looking at it. Wow, we have triangular treasure. It's really simple, but I needed to know the logic, but I don't know it, so I'll just read aloud the whole line, which is the only line in this function. Triangular function takes one parameter of type int and of a type int, and it returns int. It returns int. Okay, so what we have here, if n, which we get as a parameter, if n is greater than 0, then we return the we return the sum of the arithmetic progression, and I think that the task was to calculate the number of the stars in that type of rectangle, or let me think, square, no, triangle. Okay, triangle. So we had the triangle of the stars. Like in the first row we had only one star, in the second row we had 2 stars, and so on, and in the n row we had n stars, and the task was to calculate the number of the stars in this triangle, starting from the first line and finishing with the last n line. And this is basically the solution for this. The solution for this task is to calculate the sum of the arithmetic progression. Yes. Or to return 0 is if this n equals to 0 or negative. Next is to lead speak function. Okay, so lead, well, I don't remember. It's something about, yeah, it's something about encoding the letters of the English alphabet with some stuff like digits or special symbols or just letters. That's why in the beginning I have this dictionary which contains the alphabet between the mapping between the character and the string, and all the characters are taken from the English alphabet plus this space sign. And each character has the mapping into something like, I'll just read through the characters which are not mapped into themselves. For example, space is mapped into space, or Y is mapped into Y. So I'll just skip this stuff. We have what is not mapped into the letter itself. Like A is mapped into @ sign, like in the email, B into 8, number 8, C into the open paren. That's funny, I don't see the closed paren. Anyway, E is mapped into number 3. G is mapped into 6. H is mapped into the hash sign. I into the exclamation mark. L into number 1. O into number 0. Again, S is mapped into the dollar sign, T is mapped into the 7, and Z is mapped into 2. So the solution for this task is to convert the string which is given as the parameter to the function using the dictionary into the encoded string. So what we have here, we use smap function over the string, and it maps each character through the alphabet, through each digit or each number. No, it maps each character of the string into the character in LeetSpeak, I don't know, encoding, or it maps a character into just empty string. If, for example, we have commas or semicolons inside the string, then we just skip them. And because, okay, again, map function creates the array of characters. In the end, we joined everything, and we have successfully have our LeetSpoken string. Okay, next to the sum of the to the next function, which is really long. Okay, we have I have the whole 3 solutions and one best practice which is not mine. Sum of 2 smallest integers in array. So I have my own short solution, array sorted. We have the sorted array, and then I get the sum of the first element and the second element, A0 plus A1. The functional, the functional solution, which is kind of best practice because it resolves the task into one string, but it's not, as I commented, it's not my solution, but we have array sorted, and then we apply this subscription operator to the result of sorted function, like 0 ... 1. This way we have the subscription, I think, to the sub array of the first 2 elements of this sorted array, and then we reduce it to the sum based on 0. Well, I think using the reduce over 2 element array is quite a heavy weapon against these small birds, but at least this stuff solves everything in one string, in one line. And I have some update for this, like prefix. Yeah, I could use prefix 2 over the sorted array without going into the subscription. And I think it's more nature because it uses the function implemented in the language, not just my own ideas over the language. And now to the second solution. First I get we have this min function, so I get first min one element by calling min function over the array, min method over the array A. Then I get the index. Then I get the index of this min one element, like array dot first index of min one. Yeah. So what happens here? First index of min one returns the first index, because we know that min one always inside the array, because I just got it from the array using the min method. I will always get the right index, but to avoid this force unwrapping operation, I used the nil coalescing operator to consecutive question marks, and I return the start index of the array if for some reason, in some case, we don't have this min element inside our array. And then I remove this min one element at the index 1, and then I finally get min 2 element the same way I got the first min 1 element. Like I applied the method min to the array, and I return just min 1 plus min 2. Really, it's kind of a long journey to solve this task. Get this first array, first index of min, and then removing it. It's kind of heavy actions over quite a simple task. Okay, let's go for the third solution. First, I get min 1 and min 2 elements, like the maximum of int type. Then I go through all the elements in the array, and if the element is less than min 1, then I assign min 1 to min 2, and I assign x, the new element, to min 1. Kind of strange logic. Otherwise, if this x element less than min 2, which means it can be greater than min 1, but still it's less than min 2, then we just assign this x to min 2. So if x the smallest, the logic is implemented the way that min1 is less than min2. That's why if element is the smallest of these two, we have this shift. Min1 value goes to min2 variable, but min1 gets the smallest value up to date at this time. Or if the current element is greater than min1 but it is still less than min2, we use this assignment right with min2, and this way we guarantee that min2 again is greater than min1, and in the end, when we go through all the array, we return the sum min1 plus min2. The next function is strong number. Strong number, it takes some integer number and it returns string which says whether this number is strong or it's not strong. And we have the helper function factorial, which calculates the factorial. So I'll go with this function first. Function factorial. Well, I'm not going into the recursion here. I'll just calculate it the way it's easy to calculate. Function takes parameter n and returns the factorial for this parameter n. If n equals to 0, then we just return 1 because the factorial of 0 is 1. Otherwise, we can use this range 1 ... n inside the parentheses, and we just use the reduce method over this range, like with the accumulator equals to 1 and the multiplication action applied to all the elements of this range. Or I had the previous solution, like very simple solution, like product equals is assigned, is set to 1. Then we have for loop for I in this range 1 in this range 1 0 n. Yeah, when I goes through all the numbers inside of this range, we calculate the product we multiplied the current product by this I number and assign it to the product, and in the end we return the product. It's the simplest solution, but functional solution with reduce looks much cleaner. So in the end we have this string number. Yeah, we convert number into a string, and then we have this mapping stuff. Maybe I should use this, I don't remember now, another, maybe compact map. Then compact map will remove nil elements, but I'm not sure whether it unwraps the optional. So anyway, we maps each number, each element from the string like converting it into string, then into int, then call the factorial of this int, and yeah, and we return. Oh, no. First we get int. We convert character into string, then into int, and then we use this new coalescing operator. And because we know that all the characters will be the valid digits, we will always get the valid integer number. But just for the sake of not using the force unwrapping, we use these two consecutive question marks and return 0 like the placeholder if something goes wrong, and we get not digit, like the letter or some punctuation mark. Anyway, then we calculate the factorial of this int element. Yeah, and we convert the whole number into the array, which contains a factorial for each digit of this number. And we use this functional style, like reduce function over the array with the accumulator equals to 0 and plus and addition operation. And basically we calculate the sum of all the elements of all the factorials inside this array, and if this sum is equal to the number, to the original number itself, we return the string that this number is strong. Otherwise, we return the string that the number is not strong. Next, we have stacked balls script. Stack height 2D. It takes something like layers of a type int, and it returns double. So we have this solution over or inside of one, inside the single line. Like if this layers equals to 0, then we returns 0. Otherwise we do some calculations, like square over dot 0.75 multiplied by layers -1 converted into double plus 1. I'm not sure what's this stuff about, but the function is quite simple to read aloud. Next, the function special number again takes integer, returns string, and string will be about special or not special. So what's going on here? Here I map again each number into the array of strings, where each string contains a digit from the original number, and then I filter this array if the this string inside the digit inside the string lies within the interval of 0 to 5, like if this element is 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, yeah, then we leave these parameters. We leave these strings in the array. Other strings are removed from the array, and we just calculate the number of the elements in the array. And if the number of digits in the original number equals to the len that we got, to the len of the array that we got through the filter, we say that this number is special, otherwise it's not. So basically we check that number contains only the digits like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, specify Swift function, what it... Okay, I just remembered that I skipped the best solution that I found after solving this task by myself, and this basic solution really? Oh, wow, this basic solution shows that I don't need to do the mapping into the array to apply the filter, that I can apply filter to the string itself. I can apply, so I can take the number, convert it into string, and apply this filter operation right to the string, and in the end I will get another string. So this way I skip this map operation and the result will be the same. So it's really useful to know that a filter operation can be applied to the string itself, not only to the array. And maybe, let me see. So I just went through 8 scripts, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12. I have 12 more scripts till I reach the 4 scripts based on linked list. So basically, I think I can cover the next 12 scripts in 2 videos, and then I'll try to cover 4 linked list scripts in 1 video. So in 3 videos, I think I'll cover all the scripts that I have written in Swift, and maybe I'll start going into more difficult tasks, maybe more applied to the tasks which are more applied to the iOS programming than just solving some basic programming tasks. Anyway, I think I'll try to read aloud my last poem that I read, my last poem that I wrote. It's really long, and this is the longest poem to up to this date, and I'll try to read it aloud. I hope I'll succeed, because it's really, really long. It's about werewolves. Let's go. There lived a witch deep in the woods. She walked a lot, collected roots. She put her cauldron on the stove. She brewed a potion in the grove. She gathered different herbs and flowers and burned them in the midnight hours. She rode her broom, flew in the sky, her faithful cat sat by her side. She was quite young, in her mid-30s, some even might call her a hottie. She liked to knit and read the cards, do stretches in her leotard. But she was very strangely gifted with one old curse. It was unknown whether there was a way to lift it. It made her always live alone. Each time she got her periods weak, she turned into a huge red panda. Her mind became so vague and weak. She wandered through the woods at random. She acted as a wild, fierce creature who was 9 feet 11 inches. She tried to kill all the strangers who got inside her hunting ranges. So to avoid that strong temptation, she built a cellar in her mansion, in which she locked herself each month and waited till her periods passed. Her girlfriends knew about this horror, so at the next Halloween picnic, the witch was handed a referral to one where curses treatment clinic. She was reluctant from the start, but then she had a change of heart, so she put on her dark green cloak and left her house at 5 o'clock. She rode her broom to the address. When she arrived, she was depressed to see a very simple clinic. The witch was always quite a cynic. She registered at the reception and sat in a line with other patients who also waited for their turns, talked on the phones, or ate popcorn. When it was finally her turn, she was a little bit concerned, but when the doctor came and called her, all the questions were resolved. He was a tall, quite handsome guy. Her feelings almost made her cry. "Hello, I'm Dr. Frankenstein." "Yes, I'll be yours." "What?" "Never mind." He looked at her suspiciously. She felt a sudden urge to flee. My clinic helped lots of where people resolve the problems faster, cheaper. I heard this line on a commercial. "I'm sorry, ma'am. It's by inertia. We've done a new commercial project. It wasn't scheduled but was urgent." I said the same at each talk show. "We love a job, we are the pro." And after hundreds times, this line imprinted deeply in my mind. "I got acquainted with your record," the doctor added in a second. "I think your curse has the solution. We practice in our institution. We can perform the operation which helped a lot of rare patients. Say we remove your ovaries, then no more periods, nothing bleeds. This makes your beast cease to exist. The downsides, you can't have kids. Think thoroughly about all this. If you are ready, Sanhi, please." I've thought it through. No more regrets about not having any kids. I'll come back home to my black cat. A quiet life is all I need. "But miss, I didn't ask at all about your personal affairs. I'm so embarrassed. That's my fault." "No, nothing matters. No one cares." "Yeah, that's the problem," says the list. "Let me just check my to-do list. Right, there's a break at 3 o'clock. At my work office we will talk." There was a private conversation between the doctor and his patient. I've never changed like werewolves each night or just at the full moon. It's all connected to my periods. I know it sounds very weird. "No, that's alright," the doctor said. "It doesn't sound really bad. Don't ever trust a curse, they say. It manifests in many ways. I know one specialist on curses. He lately helped one of our nurses. Let's say I'll take a week vacation and we'll both travel to his mansion. In this curse lifting, he's the star. But there's one twist. You see this scar? He turned and showed the witch his back. The five big talons left the tracks. This genius can lift any curse. He heard the gasping breath of hers. He turns into the same were beast. The tension in the room increased. You mean the beast into which I? Yes, that's why risk is very high. We may be injured, even killed, before your magic beast is sealed. But you don't have to do this. No, I have my own sin to atone. With each were beast which I helped seal, I tamed the monster which I built. They packed and ventured on the trip. She watched the road, he steered his jeep. He watched the road and steered his jeep. She was quite quiet, lost in thought. She thought about a chance she got. The doctor's friend lived in the land, right at the forest's distant end. The mansion stood high on the rock. Get off the car. Next we will walk. The next few hours in succession they climbed up to the wizard's mansion. I never did this in my life. I mean, the climbing up so high. The witch was fully out of breath. It's your first climbing. I'm impressed. They passed the gates, which were unlocked. I see why no one locks the door. Nobody comes here but a hawk, which measures how high it can soar. The inner yard was filled with flowers. It was already evening hours. The old man knelt next to the bed. He waved them, smiled, stood up and said, "What's up? How are you, my old pal?" The wizard barely said the phrase. "This pretty woman needs your help." The doctor cut right to the chase. "And so do you. I see your plan." "What plan? You lost me here, old man." "Not very bright, as always. Well, please come inside. Welcome to hell." They sat inside the living room. She missed her faithful wooden broom. If she had not left it at home, the climbing would not be so slow. The witch felt awkward, but at last the wizard cleared his throat and asked, "Was there your curse when you were born?" "Not, but I met that unicorn deep in the woods. I was 13. I was attacked. It pierced my spleen. I had a terrible infection, but very timely doctor's actions saved my young 13-years-old life. They said I was killed and survived. And And later in that month I turned into this beast. And then I learned that unicorn, that horn of his, somehow it gave me this disease." "So you contracted this disease?" the old man said. "Continue, please." "Since then, there was not much to tell. My whole life turned into some hell. I turned at every period of the week. My schoolmates thought I was a freak, but finally I graduated from the academy. I hated the girls who whispered in the corners, the boys who shouted, 'You're a goner.' I got my witch degree. At once I found a chance to get freelance. I live alone deep in the woods. I don't like crowded neighborhood. I do my job and I'm quite fine. I meet my girls from time to time. So this is how I met the doc. He said that you can lift my curse." "I see. It's almost 12 o'clock. That's when we start. Alright. But first, for this young lady, I'll explain how we'll all play this dangerous game. It's quite a typical disease. It lies within my expertise. I'll drink your blood and say your name to forge this special mental chain. Then, through the chain, your poisoned blood will draw your curse into my heart." "And how much blood? A glass?" "Please stop. For me, enough, just one small drop. So after that, I will transform. That is, I'll turn into your beast. Then you must kill me in this form for your own curse to be released. But if I kill you, I won't die. It will be my some hundredth time. I'll save you and make your curse stop. And by the way, this is my job. So now I'll give you one last warning. If by the threshold of the morning you won't kill me, which means you'll fail, you'll stay in your best form forever. Make your decision and be fast. The whole evening almost passed. At 12 o'clock I'll drink your blood, and from that moment we will start. I'm sorry, but I must refuse. My beast's too strong, so it's no use. No human can defeat my beast. A knight, a wizard, or a priest. The dog moved close to her. Hold it. He put an arm around her shoulder. Don't worry. All will be just fine. We played this scheme 100 times. I will protect you as I did with all my patience. Let's proceed. And for the first time in her life, she understood she could rely on this young doctor. She may feel like a weak woman. Let it be. The preparations were completed. The wizard made the drink he needed. As soon as his wine glass was drained, they knew that all went the wrong way. The light inside the room grew dim. He all was covered by some steam. He seemed to have increased in size, something about 100 times. In front of them there was a monster with 20 heads. A roller coaster had fewer curves. Inside each mouth there were sharp teeth. The whole house was shaking as it made some steps. The doctor grabbed the witch. Oh crap, this is a serpent dinosaur. I've heard about this beast before. We can't kill him without a sword, forged from the special magic ore. The head, which was decapitated at once, will be regenerated. The sword stops it from growing back by cutting off it from its neck. This way you kill each of its heads, and after that the monster's dead. We have no chance, the dog confessed. My fault, I dragged you in this mess. Let's run away, the witch exclaimed. I am the one who should be blamed. We must survive. It doesn't matter. I'll be a permanent red panda. The doctor looked into her eyes. We both signed up this enterprise. I won't let you retain that form. I swear you'll be back to the norm. It's my turn to atone my sins and save my patient by all means. I am the monster I created. I lied that we were separated. We share the same mind and same body. Time to accept what I've avoided. He raised and turned towards the dragon. He stepped ahead, and in a second the doctor turned into a creature with very grotesque, ugly features. The next 3 hours in a row, the earth quaked from the mighty blows. They both were equal in their strength, but then one of the dragon's head bypassed the creature's strong defense and charged right at the witch instead. The creature jumped up to his right and pushed the witch out of the way. That head's mouth beat the creature's side. The other heads attacked the prey. The dragon gnawed him to the core and threw his body on the floor. The witch ran forward to the man. She knelt and touched him with her hands. I beg you, please don't die. You can't. Your every wish is my command. I'll be with you till our world's end. Right by your side, holding your hand. You sacrificed for me your eye, your arm and leg. I thought you'd die. You shielded me from that death blow. Why? 'Cause I'll never let you go. When first I saw you in the queue, at once inside my heart I knew you are my angel from the heaven. I want to be with you forever. It's my turn now. I'll play the game until the morning comes again. I'll cut its heads off at the rate it won't make them regenerate. Don't go away, as if I could. I always love your funny mood. Give me 3 minutes, maybe 5, to save my future husband's life. She stood and stepped towards the beast. Her hands were tightly clenched in fists. Her mouth produced a mighty roar. The witch turned into her beast form. They clashed, the dragon and the panda, according to the story standard. The battle lasted several hours. There were some roars, cries, hisses, howls. She hit it hard, it hit her back, but she avoided its attacks. They were quite equal, but it lacked. She had her loved one to protect. At last, she grabbed few dragons' necks, then she rolled over her back. She used the impulse of her roll and sent it to the long free fall, right to the bottom of the mountain. She held her breath. She lay still, counting, until the deafening distant sound showed that the dragon hit the ground. That moment, some first morning rays lit up the devastated place. The dawn, the sun finally rose. The thing could not get any worse. No question of her motherhood. She stuck in her best form for good. At least the doctor was all right. Oh no, she hurried to his side. She came to him and knelt beside. He raised his hand and stroked her hide. No more curse lifting, I retired. The panda smiled. The panda smiled. She was sad. The panda smiled and she was sad, but she was sad. She said, "You're safe now. I'm so glad. Now I accept my panda form. Nothing will be back to the norm. I will be strong. I will survive as long as you are still alive." And at that moment, something strange occurred to her. Her features changed. Her fur fell off like hairy rain, revealing human skin again. The doctor held her human hand. She cried, "Why, I don't understand." The tears all glittered in her eyes. The witch was speechless with surprise. She pinched herself time and again. "Just tell me I am not insane." "You aren't. It's genetic curse which you inherited at birth." The old man entered through the gate. "That's why these things went a wrong way. You are not cursed, but you were born this way. That's why you are so strong. This curse of yours cannot be healed. It's like a sword that you can wield, or it protects you like a shield. You can develop any skill. For this, you are obliged to build the strong relation with your beast, and your lifestyle will soon increase." The wizard paused and made a sigh. "Oh, I'm too old to climb so high. When I consumed this blood of yours, it triggered my genetic curse. This is the reason why this time I turned into the beast of mine. The unicorn stabbed you before. I understand what it was for. He didn't mean any offense. That stabbing was his self-defense. He felt the monster in your soul before you heard your panda's call. You almost died of the infection. Your beast made its manifestation. You must remember, for some reason, the whole treatment was quite easy. I finally found out the key, why you turned only on that week. I bet you were extremely stressed, your periods added to the mess, and then your inner beast appeared to save you from your bleeding fears. Here, for the first time in your life, you changed your form at will with ease, as if you made that scary dive despite the trembling in your knees. And you accepted your true form when you learned that you'd never turn into a human like yourself. You fully merged with your true self. So now you can turn at your will, or may not turn if you don't feel the need of this. And by the way, you are completely naked. Hey, she turned abruptly to the injured. Her voice was harsh. Her face was rigid. Why didn't you warn I was naked? She hit him hard into his shoulder. He moaned. It hurts. You're gonna make it. I thought you were a little older to peep on one young naked lady. I like to watch you as a painting by some great artist or a statue, he told the woman. But I hate you. The dog addressed the old man. Geez, your naked body, that's enough to hurt my psyche. Dress up, please. And they all burst into a laugh. The marriage date was set to May. It was a lovely sunny day. The witch cooked lots of different food. Its smell spread through the neighborhood. For everyone to fit inside, they chose the ceremony site right in the middle of the field, where soon the canopy was built. The witch forgot none of her friends, to whom her wedding cards were sent. The doctor sent his invitations to his successfully saved patients. The local group performed the wedding. The guests all gathered and were ready. When our protagonists arrived, they both presented quite a sight. The bride wore her bright yellow dress. Her choice of color made no sense. The bridegroom wore his doctor's suit. On second thought, the dress was good. His arm and leg on his left side were the prosthetics made of steel. His eye was glass, she didn't mind, until his heart could beat and feel. When they were asked to claim the oath, they said, forever of worth, we'll be together, we won't part, while we both have a beating hearts. The oath was finished and they kissed. They were quite thrilled, to say the least. The guests applauded them. Hooray! The witch's cat caught the bouquet. Some 10 years yielded the results. One happy house filled up with joy, 5 pitch black cats and 2 adults, 2 blonde twin girls, 1 little boy. And this is the end of my poem, and I think it took me I don't know, more than 15 minutes to read this aloud from the beginning to the end. And with this, I finish my video 80.